There's a lot of confusion about whether or not it's safe to allow your knees to go over your toes during squatting movements. In this video, I'm going to reveal the truth about whether or not it's safe for your knees to go over your toes if you're over the age of 50. My name is Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham, and today we're going to be talking all about knees over toes. Now, you might have come across a guy online called Ben Patrick, otherwise known as Knees Over Toes Guy, whose big thing is about trying to improve knee and ankle mobility to prevent injury and pain. Unsurprisingly, his big thing is allowing the knees to go over the toes when you squat by improving a movement called dorsiflexion. However, many people have avoided this movement for many years because they think it's going to blow out their knee and cause an injury. In fact, some people make a conscious effort never to allow their knees to go over their toes when they squat. So what's the truth about this movement? Is it actually dangerous, or is that just a myth? I looked at the research and found the truth. To illustrate this point, let's have a look at two videos of me squatting. Now you can see the first video right now. So bear in mind, I've had lots of ankle injuries in the past from playing sports. So I have a dodgy ankle, particularly on the left side. I lack dorsiflexion. I can't get my toes up to my shins without warming up properly. Now this first video is me squatting with zero warm up. So I haven't done my normal ankle mobility stuff. Now, if you watch this video, you can see the squat looks awkward. I can only get down so far and my knees can't go over my toes, which means other areas of the body start to suffer. Now, if you look at the second video, which is on your screen now, you'll see my squat after I've done my ankle mobility exercises. You'll see the first thing is that my knees can go over my toes now. I can get deeper. My knees are actually under less stress because my ankles are moving better. They don't roll in as much, and my hips and my back are also in a better position. So that's my personal experience of knees over toes. But what about the research? What does that show? Well, in my search, I found 4 randomized controlled trials and 1 systematic review that all pointed to the fact that someone who can't get their knees over their toes because they have a reduced dorsiflexion angle has a higher risk of anterior cruciate ligament injury. Now, your ACL is the ligament inside the knee that's often injured in footballers and skiers, and it takes a very long time to recover from. And the reason these ACL injuries are more common in people who don't have much dorsiflexion is because their knee tends to fall into a movement called valgus. And valgus is basically when the knee crosses over the midline of the body. It puts a lot of stress on the inside of the knee, and all of the structures within the knee suffer too. So knees over toes is not just good for squat, it also can help you injury-proof your knees in the future. So in my humble opinion, knees over toes is very important. But if you've never done it before, you need to introduce it slowly. And the first thing you should do is work to improve that movement called dorsiflexion. I'm going to show you now 3 great exercises to help you improve that movement that you can do at home, but only do these exercises if you've had the all clear from your doctor. They're not going to be suitable for everyone, and if they cause you any pain, just avoid them. First of all, I want to bust a common myth about so-called dangerous movements. The truth is, there are no movements that are dangerous in and of themselves. The only thing that makes a movement dangerous is if you have never personally been exposed to it and then you suddenly go and do it. So danger is always described in the context of the individual. That's why for me, it might be dangerous for me to just try and do a headstand right now because I never do headstands. But if you asked an Olympic level gymnast to do a headstand, for them, it's a piece of cake. There's no danger in that whatsoever. So the movement itself can't be dangerous only if the individual hasn't done it. And that brings us on to knees over toes. So the truth about knees over toes is it's not dangerous provided you can do it safely. There is no inherent danger with putting your knees over your toes. In fact, we do it all the time, every day. We need our knees to go over our toes when we come downstairs, and we need our knees to go over our toes when we squat safely. Let me break down a squat and I'll show you what I mean. So for a good squat to happen, we need a few things. First of all, we need good knee mobility. Ideally, we should get our knees beyond 90 degrees. We also need good hip mobility because we need to hinge forward like this and our knee needs to come up towards our chest. And finally, we need to be able to keep our back straight so that our spine doesn't round, because if we've got weight on our back when we're squatting or we're holding a weight like this, it puts stress on the back if we allow it to round. For all of those things to happen, I need good mobility at my ankle. And by good mobility, I mean the ability to dorsiflex, which is to pull the toes up towards the shin. Because if you put that movement into reverse, we're taking the shin over the toes, and that allows us to sink down into a squat. That means I can have a good range of knee bend, a good range of hip bend, and I can keep my back straight all at the same time. So not only is knees over toes okay, it's actually ideal for a proper squat. Before we go any further, I just want to tell you about 3-Tip Friday. 3-Tip Friday is my weekly email that I send out to my list, and it features 3 of the most interesting things I've found that week. It could be a health tip, it could be a piece of research I'm reading, or it could be a new tool that I've found to be really useful for helping people get more mobile. It's totally free. I just send it out once a week. There's no annoying promos inside, and you can sign up for it by going down below this video and entering your email in the 3-Tip Friday link. So the first exercise that can help you improve your knees over toes movement is the calf stretch. And this is a really easy exercise which helps us improve dorsiflexion when the leg is straight. So for this exercise to work, all you need is a wall to put your hands against. I'm going to show you how to stretch the left leg, and we're going to put that left leg behind us like that with the leg nice and straight. The back heel is down on the floor, and all we're going to do, keeping this leg straight, is bend the front knee and come forward with our body until we start to feel a stretch in the calf at the back of that leg there. And once we've got that stretch, we're just going to hold it for 30 seconds, making sure if we feel the stretch ease off, we just push a little bit further into it and just sustain that stretch for a nice period of time. Now, with this stretch, obviously 30 seconds is good, but rather than doing lots in one go, I would come back to it several times per day. So about 3 to 5 times per day, all spread out, seems to be the best option for improving your calf flexibility. So now you've done that stretch, we can move on to another one, which is a soleus stretch. And your soleus lives a bit further down the calf. It's sort of this bottom half of the calf here. And this is a very important muscle when we squat, because if it's tight, it restricts the ankle when the knee is bent. So I get quite a lot of tightness in my soleus muscle, so this is a good stretch for me. Now the setup is very similar. You're going to have 2 hands on the wall. You're going to start exactly the same way. So the one to be stretched is going to be at the back. But this time, instead of having the back leg straight, we're actually going to bend the back leg. And instead of bringing our weight forward, we're going to slightly bring our weight backwards and sink down into the ankle like that. Now, I've hardly got any weight going through my right. It's all going through my left. And I'm almost like sitting back into a mini squat just on that side. And I can feel a stretch in this part of the calf here. So I'm sitting back into the stretch and then holding it. This leg here is just for support. Now, if you want to see me do that on the opposite side, it looks something like this. So this leg goes at the back. We bend both knees and we sit down into the stretch. We're almost bringing our body weight back and down until we can feel a stretch down the bottom of the calf. You want to keep your back nice and straight as you do this and just allow your body weight to drop down onto the foot basically until you can feel that stretch. Now, the principles of this are exactly the same. 30 seconds, several times per day on each side is a great way to improve your dorsiflexion. And then the final exercise I've got for you to help you improve your ankle mobility is the chair ankle mobilization. And all we need for this is a nice dining room chair that you can put your foot up on. So you want to obviously take your shoes off so as not to mark the chair. And we're going to start like this. So you've got your hip at 90 degrees, your knee at 90 degrees, and ideally your ankle starts at 90 degrees too. Now, instead of being a stretch, this is a mobilization. So we keep the movement going throughout the 30 seconds that we do this exercise. And it looks something like this. You're going to start by taking your knees over your toes, keeping the heel in contact with the seat. Now you can grab the back of the chair if that helps you, and we're going to ease in and out. So in and out, and in and out. You can see here I'm almost pulling my body towards my knee using the back of the chair. And really what I'm trying to do is pull so that I can keep my heel down but get my knee as far forward as possible. So my knee is coming forward and then back. Knee is coming forward and then back, keeping my heel in contact with the chair at all times. Now you might be able to get 10, maybe 15 repetitions of this in 30 seconds. That's a wonderful way of improving ankle mobility. Then you swap, do the other side, exactly the same thing, bringing the knee over the toes and then back. And each time you get to the end, it should just feel like stiffness, but not pain. So we're just pushing into a little bit of capsular stiffness, then coming away from it, then going straight back in. Those are some lovely exercises to improve your knees over your toes and make it much safer for you to squat. So that's the truth about knees over toes. I hope you found this video useful and insightful. If you have, do leave us a comment below and just let us know your thoughts, because we love to read what you think about our videos. And if you want to get more from me, subscribe to the channel because it does help us to reach more people, and share this video with a friend if you think they'd find it useful as well. If you want to get more from me, the best way to do so is to grab a copy of my brand new book, Thriving Beyond 50, the 2024 edition. It's got 111 strategies that will help to keep you mobile, active, pain-free and independent in your 50s and beyond. You can pick up a copy on Amazon using the link below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll speak to you again on the next video.